Hello, everyone. So, today we're going to reflect a bit on better training habits. So, I'm going to talk about some of the things that I used to do as a fighter that I no longer do and why I no longer do them. So, let's start off by saying, like, as fighters, it's very natural to leave no stone left unturned, right? We want to do everything that we believe is going to give us an edge to improve our performance, right? And some of these stones can be given to us by our own knowledge, or the things that we believe are true, or the things that other people tell us to do. And because we trust them, we do them. But over time and making countless and countless and countless of mistakes, I've learned that some of these practices were not just unhealthy, but very counterproductive to my performance. Something I used to do back in my amateur days was do full-on training sessions in a sauna suit or something similar to a sauna suit. So I would be wearing like long leggings with 4 layers on the top. The amount of sweat I lost was so satisfying. If you've ever worn a sauna suit to cut weight and the sweat that pools around your arm area, you know how satisfying it is when you like pour out the water and you see like all that running, like all that water is coming out, right? But it's very misguided to believe that just because you're sweating more, you're going to lose more fat, right? And when people think about losing weight in the context of like healthy, sustainable weight loss, they want to lose fat. They don't want to lose just water. And then once they drink water, the weight comes back, right? Any weight that I lost during my training session while wearing a sauna suit or any of the long sleeve contraptions, it was just water, right? And then now I know that losing water, like too much water, especially in like a training session that's like 2 to 3 hours long, it would just lead me to be dehydrated, getting cramps, and not being able to train well during that session. Losing water outside of weight cut week is not healthy. So if this is something you're doing, look, I'm not saying don't do it. I know some people live in regions where it gets really cold, and the only way they can start breaking a sweat is to layer up or wear something like a sauna suit so they get warm and sweat like a normal amount. But what I am saying is that sweating more than the normal amount because you feel like it's going to help you lose fat is very, very misguided, and it can be potentially dangerous. Another mistake I used to do was I used to carry around like a huge bottle of water, like those gallon bottles of water, everywhere I went. So I would carry it with me onto the train, I would carry it with me to work, and I would carry it with me to school, and I would just drink from it and refill it and drink from it, refill it. So sometimes I was drinking like 2.5 gallons of water a day, which is a lot. With it in like liter terms, I think it's at least like 7 to 8 or even more liters of water a day, which is a lot. I did this because one of my old coaches was like, "Oh, you're thinking about fighting? Start drinking a lot of water." Like he basically told me to start water loading, just for the sake of water loading, not even to like. He said, "Oh, it's gonna help you lose weight, right?" And part of it is kind of true because I have discussed water loading in some of my social media posts. So water loading is like very grossly put, it makes your body excrete more water, so you are going to end up losing more weight. But again, like I said with the previous point, the weight that you're going to lose is just water. It's not fat, right? And then losing too much water is just going to lead to dehydration. So water loading for a month or more, no, don't do it. And it can actually lead to something called like overhydration. So yes, having too much water is such a thing. It could throw off your electrolyte balances, and electrolyte balances are like different types of salt in your body, and these salts in your body, they're responsible for a lot of processes in your body. And some athletes who have overhydrated, actually their hearts just stop, right? And they have died from their heart stopping. So this is really dangerous, and electrolyte imbalances are also very dangerous. So just be careful if anyone tells you to do this. Another thing that I used to do was as soon as fight camp started, I would eat as little as possible so I could make weight. And I know this is something that so many people still do, and I think this is why I bring this topic up so much, not just in social media, but any kind of opportunity that I get to promote healthy eating and sustainable weight loss and walking around at a regular weight, I will do it. I used to starve myself to make weight. I would eat like, I don't know, 900 to 1,000 calories a day as an adult woman. and on top of fight camp and not eat more to fuel my training, right? So then I would feel tired all the time, sore all the time, feel like I wasn't recovering, and then I just thought that, oh, this is just fight camp. But no, it was because I was under eating, right? Yes, fight camp is gonna make you feel tired, but if you're under eating, it's just gonna make everything feel worse. And also, like, if you under eat, it's going to affect your immune system, so you're more susceptible to getting sick or other weird kind of conditions and diseases. And then if you're just starving yourself to make weight, you know, the purpose of a fight camp is to prepare for the fight. And to prepare for the fight, you really need to focus on developing certain skills, getting better at certain things. And when you starve yourself to make weight like I did, it's not a fight camp anymore, it's a weight loss camp. And it's not even like a healthy weight loss camp, because like any of these crazy diets, any super restrictive diets, the faster you lose the weight, the faster you're going to put it back on. And that's exactly what happened. Something else I used to do was when I was training at Sitong Pinong, I was there for my first 4.5 years when I moved to Thailand. I had a very awesome opportunity to train there. And the training there overall was awesome. They did have a very Thai style regimen of conditioning. So it was waking up at 5 o'clock every morning and running for about an hour. So we were told to run for at least 10 to 12 kilometers every single morning. So Monday through Saturday. And I just did it because I was told to do it. I would say in a lot of ways I'm a good student, because if the teacher tells me to do something, I'll do it without questioning too much. But so look, running is a great way to improve cardio. But too much of it can lead to overuse injuries. Too much of anything can lead to overuse injuries. And steady state running in particular, it can lead to decreased performance in a lot of areas of training. So the only thing I was doing for like cardio conditioning was steady state long runs. So then when I would look at the videos, my old videos of me hitting pads or fighting, I was very slow. I was very like foot heavy, and I didn't have any explosiveness. And that was partly because I was doing these long runs. That being said, I don't regret having done it, right? I look back on it and I take it as a learning experience. I'm not like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, right? Waking up every single day before the sun was up and doing these runs and then going to train after, it taught me a lot about myself. It built up a lot of mental resilience, and I was able to prove to myself, how much am I willing to go through to become a fighter, to become a successful fighter, right? And then at the time, I believed that to become a successful fighter, I had to do all these things, so I did them. So I was able to prove a lot to myself and build consistency. So I do think that a lot of people, they just kind of need to go through the hard grind in a way to really just see where they're at in their mental strength and their discipline. But now that I've gone through that for 4.5 years, and I'm at another gym where there's more flexibility with the conditioning, I know now that research has shown that only doing long, steady state cardio doesn't benefit fighters in terms of their power or their speed or their strength. Something else that I used to do was a quote unquote recovery workout. So it would be like Sunday. It was supposed to be my rest day, right, from training. So rest day from training, I'm not supposed to train. But then I would wake up anyway and do like a quick 5K around the park. And I thought in my head, well, it's not the usual 10K I do, so it's just gonna help me sweat and quote unquote recover. This only just led to further overtraining. And I've been through this so many times. I've overtrained a lot of times, way more times than I like to admit, and it friggin' sucks. If you've ever overtrained, you know just how much it sucks. And since then, I've learned that rest days should just be about rest, which means doing nothing related to training or running or anything like that. Like, I don't do recovery workouts anymore. If I wake up on a Sunday and I feel like, oh, my body needs some mobility work, or I need to get a massage, or I need to stretch a little bit more, I will do things like that. But I will not go to the park and run 5K, 5 kilometers, 3 miles to help me quote unquote recover. Because resting is what's going to help me recover and get better. If I don't rest enough, it's just going to lead to overtraining, and I'm going to go into Monday feeling like, oh, this sucks and everything sucks and I suck and all things like that, right? So now I really prioritize rest and recovery, especially on my rest days. And Even on the weeks where I'm like, no, I can keep doing more. I could keep doing more. I can definitely still do that run and then jump into training tomorrow. I force myself to be like, hey, remember all those times when you thought all of that, and remember all the times when you didn't feel good and you still did all of that. Don't do it. And it's kind of like I take this kind of like forcing myself to take recovery, like proper recovery days after my fights. I used to fight, take one full day off, and then so the 2 days after the fight, I'm back in the gym doing everything. Now I take like a full week off. And during that week, I feel so restless. I want to go run. I want to go lift weights. I want to do this and that. And I just force myself to do no physical activity. If I need to, I just go for a walk, or, I go out with people and we end up walking that way. But nothing in terms of like running or just like, oh, I'm just going to lift some weights and stuff, because everything you're doing is built up to that fight. And if you don't recover after, then it's not going to pay dividends in the next fight. So I've definitely learned a lot of lessons in the last few years, and a lot of these lessons were learned the hard way because of how stubborn I am to make changes. But I have made a lot of changes to my training regimen, and now they help me perform better and also stay healthier and help me play the long game in this sport, right? I always say that whatever you do, you always want to think about, is this going to keep serving you, or are you going to be able to continue doing this like 3, 4, or 5 years down the line? So if you prioritize proper nutrition, effective training methods, and good recovery, it can help you rest and rejuvenate. That's something, like I said, learned the really hard way. And doing so, it's really helped me improve with each fight camp and with each fight. It's important to constantly reevaluate and adjust your approach to training and fighting. We're constantly learning. And if you learn that something doesn't serve you, you have to let go of the habit, even if it's really hard to do. So here's the progress, here's the growth, and here's to leaving all those old ways and your ego behind. See you guys in the next one.